Welcome to Fucked Up Fables. If destroying your childhood is something you enjoy, then you've come to the right place. Today marks the start of Horrible Holidays Month, where we intend to ruin all of your wonderful holiday cheer. Kicking us off is this week is Titania. What are you going to ruin for us today?
I want to destroy Santa Claus.
Classic.
Oh, there's a child in the room.
Are you sure you want to be in here for this one?
I do.
Look at that face. She was like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Is Santa Claus real?
Yes.
Good. He is real, and I have proofish.
Are you gonna marry
I don't know,
Santa
he's
Claus?
real.
No,
My whole
he
story is
already
real.
married. Too old. He's 192.
Wow. He's 192, y'all.
Makes sense.
Try like
Checks out.
2,000.
2,000 years old.
Also checks out.
Infinity.
I accept that as well. So,
You've been
Before
around
there
since
was time and space,
1992.
there was Santa Claus.
All right.
well,
If you want to
I'm
talk
only
about this one,
kind of going to destroy Santa. And Celine is correct. He is a real person. I think most people know. Are you beating me up? Thank you.
I'm
agreeing with you. What?
My favorite man. My favorite man is Santa Claus. Gives me all my gifts.
You're going to love him then after this. He did good things. He did great things.
He's infinity. What do you expect from an old man? He has a cane, walking around with Santa
Oh, shit.
Claus.
Anyways.
Anyway, I really wanted to talk about his origins, some tales from around the world, and a really weird, kind of gross miracle that he was supposed to have performed. And this works out perfectly because we get to start off somewhat nice with Santa Claus, and then Vi gets to take us down the dark road to his counterpart the week after this.
I was so
So-
excited for it. Evil Santa.
Evil Santa. I'm sure most of you listening or watching are very familiar with Santa Claus's real name, which is Saint
Krampus.
Nicholas.
No.
Saint Nicholas, you know Saint Nick, right? I'm not
Krampus.
spoiling anything for you. It's in all the songs, and if you didn't know, now you know. Celine knew. She's just very serious right now.
Yeah, she's like, you're going to destroy my favorite person of all time.
I'm not going to destroy him. Like I
I
said,
think it's half that she just likes making faces at herself with the camera.
I also think she likes trying to beat me up.
She's very aggressive, very opinionated.
She might only weigh 42 pounds, but she will wreck you.
She weighs more like 70 pounds.
Whatever. I picked a number. I don't know how
She
much
will end you.
children
That's all
weigh.
that matters.
Yeah.
Celine, Saint Nicholas was a real person, which means Santa Claus is real. See, I'm agreeing with you. No need to punch my face.
See?
I know, but you're gonna beat up him.
No, she's not. That's gonna be Vi when she covers Krampus.
Yeah, I'm gonna cover evil Santa.
His enemy is what I almost said.
Also,
Calm down.
they grew together, so they're kind of like enemies.
I feel like a lot of people know that Saint Nicholas was actually a real person, but not a lot of people know who he was or what he did. So I'm going to go into a little bit of his origins. So Saint Nicholas, I wrote began in Greece, but what I mean was born in Greece. Weird way of saying.
In Greece.
I began in Alton.
1992. He began in 1992.
Story begins in Munster, Indiana.
So St. Nicholas was born in Greece around 280 BC. He became a bishop in a small Roman town in modern-day Turkey, where he passionately defended Christianity through something called the Great Persecution in 303 BC, where Christians were, as the name implies, brutally persecuted.
Were they though? Were they?
Yes, they were forced to switch religions or die.
Who were they persecuted by? The
Roman Empire, whoever was before Constantine or
Ottomans?
Constantine before he converted, one or the other.
Was it
I
the
don't know my
Ottomans?
history that well.
Huh? No, not the Ottomans. The
Persians.
The Persians?
I have
Well,
no
it was
idea.
a Roman town.
I was gonna say, I just know that from the
Moors?
movie 300, they fought the Persians, so they existed at the same time as like the Spartans. Therefore, they probably existed around the same time as Saint Nick.
Yes. So, yeah, it was a small Roman town, so I don't know. Constantine is involved here somewhere. I don't know how long Constantine ruled or when he started ruling, but perhaps it was Constantine before he converted. Maybe it was his predecessor. I don't actually know. I didn't think to answer that question.
I was just curious. It's not
But they were.
something you hear
There
a
was
lot
this
about.
whole event called the Great Persecution. And I don't know that it started in 303 BC, but it's definitely in 303 BC, and it lasted for a long time.
I'm going to Google it.
Yeah. So Nicholas, being the rebel that he is, refused to comply and was arrested, spending about a decade in jail until Constantine converted and stopped the purge, which is why I knew Constantine was involved. Because he freed,
Gotcha.
he stopped the persecution of Christians in that area. And I have no idea, and it's going to be really bad of me, what Constantine ruled over. I feel like Babylon? But I don't think that's accurate.
Constantinople.
Istanbul, duh.
I don't actually know if that's true. I just picked a name that sounded like Constantine.
I apologize. My Middle Eastern history is atrocious.
Yeah, the only thing I know about Middle Eastern history is vampires.
I know that the last sultan of the area was died in the 1920s or abdicated in the 1920s or something. I got to see his grave.
I was gonna say, really, the Middle Eastern stuff was only like minorly Middle Eastern. It was mostly Eastern European. There was like a little bit of Eastern stuff listed.
Briefly looking over Wikipedia on their article on the Great Persecution.
Thank you.
It was Christians against themselves. It was
As is tradition.
It was
Thank you.
The new Christians, like New Age Christians in 300 BC. And it was them like saying, no, you need to follow traditional Christian values and beliefs. So the Christians persecuted themselves during the Great Persecution.
Thank you. I would just like to say, this is a common thread throughout Christianity.
I was just going to go, yeah, this checks out.
That's why I was like, who was
accurate
persecuting Christians? Christians were.
There you go. All right. Now we learned a little bit more, and we should definitely brush up on Middle Eastern history, because we seem to be spending a lot of time there, and I feel really guilty. Anyway, so a decade later, he was released from prison because Constantine stopped the purge. And then not much else is known of him after this because, really, really old times. But there are some legends that surround St. Nicholas. A lovely legend actually involves a family that was very poor and did not have any money to pay for dowries to allow them to marry out their 3 penniless daughters. So the father decided to sell his daughters into servitude, essentially giving them a means to live since they would not be able to secure husbands. Still a shitty thing to do, but as Mrs. Levitt would say, times is hard, and I couldn't stop singing that song while writing this. Threw that in there. So St. Nicholas, hearing of their plight, broke into their house on 3 separate occasions, leaving a bag of money inside. Because, crime is okay if you're leaving money behind.
Robin Hood.
Yeah, only breaking and entering and stuff, right? But rather than using a bag of gold per daughter, the father used all of the money so that one of his daughters could be married. And what happened to the other 2, the legend doesn't say.
He had a favorite, clearly.
Probably, what?
He clearly had a favorite.
Right, probably the oldest one. And he probably still sold the other 2 in the servitude. I don't know.
That's what I would do if I had more than one daughter.
Right? But apparently, on the 3rd night, the father caught St. Nick and thanked him profusely for helping out his one daughter. But another version of this had the father vowing to sell his daughters into prostitution the day each became of age. So Saint Nick came by the night before each girl came of age to throw a bag of gold into that daughter's window, saving them from prostitution. Some versions have the father waiting by the daughter's window, the last daughter's window, to snatch the gold out of the air when St. Nicholas threw it. But our clever St. Nick was way ahead of this guy and instead dropped it into the chimney, where by happenstance, the youngest girl's stocking was hanging to dry and it fell into her stocking.
That's so
That's a
cute.
strong-ass
Like, that's
stocking.
yeah, but that's like this, why we put stockings on our chimneys.
Is that
That's
why?
supposedly, yeah. And the St. Nicholas coming down chimney, that's supposedly it. Also, throughout history, kids used to receive a coin in their stocking rather than like candy and stuff. And then there was actually this period of time when you'd receive coal, but it wasn't a bad thing. It was a good thing because coal was considered black gold at one point in time.
I
And
do know that.
yeah, fun times. I don't know when that became awful, but
I don't
we
know.
stopped
My
with
mom
the
always
coal.
put books in our stocking.
Aw,
And
my
a
parents
tangerine.
stuffed mine with candy and like little trinkets.
We
Yeah.
do Hanukkah stockings, so we put our Hanukkah gifts in stockings.
Nice. Did you say tangerines?
Yep.
Question.
Always a tangerine in the bottom of our stocking.
Does your church give out a Snickers bar and an orange?
No.
Okay.
I just thought it was to keep the scurvy away.
So I grew up Baptist, not Southern Baptist, and every Christmas the church gave in a brown paper bag an orange and a Snickers bar, like a full-size Snickers bar too. They didn't cheap out, to everybody there. And I've been to several Baptist churches in my life, and every Baptist church did that. And like
That's really weird.
the Baptist church isn't like Catholicism where you have like a central head in the world. You have like different, there's technically a council of elders for some Baptist churches, but then you have other Baptist churches, they're just kind of out there. So
Yeah, I've never.
I don't know where this idea came from.
Well, it's
And you said
extra weird
tangerines, I was
because
like, ooh,
my parents are like uber Catholics. So
well, this is Baptist.
right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know where they got the tangerine thing, but I feel like it was not for all of our childhood, just like the last like 10 years of my childhood.
Nothing too bad.
I was just curious if there were ties. It's a
I
mystery
think it
I'm
was
trying
like
to figure out.
it was my mom's like health initiative. She was like, I'm not gonna buy them candy. I'm gonna give them oranges.
Nice.
Yeah,
Tangerines specifically are way better than oranges.
yeah. Well, it was she would give us tangerines, and I think part of the thing too is that they were in season, and like they're in season in the winter, and we would like literally eat pounds of cuties in a week. So
Mommy,
Actually, no, I have an addiction. You can't keep them near me. I will
Yeah.
eat the whole thing. I
Yeah.
get it.
Fresh,
Yeah,
fresh
we
oranges
would-
far surpass every other citrus fruit. I'm just saying.
Oranges are always sour.
No.
fresh oranges, if you mean like from an orange tree.
Yep. Fresh.
Okay, I was like,
Perfect. Ripe oranges. Oh, so
because my
good.
aunt had an orange tree
never
in
had
her
one.
yard. Oh my gosh, they're really really
So
good.
when we go to Florida, I'm gonna get you the hookup. We're gonna take a trip down to Vero Beach where they have a big old orange packing plant, and you can go in there and sample oranges.
That would be awesome.
I'm gonna
Or
take
we could just
Maybe
go
they won't
visit
be
my,
sour.
we could go visit my great aunt who has an orange tree on her property.
I mean,
I
we
like
could do
the
that too.
Florida
orange
trip
picking.
though.
We could do that too.
Anyway, so that was the nice little lovely story of either a nice dad who was trying to save his daughters or a horrible dad who was going to just sell them and then steal their money. So that's weird.
It is fucked up, people, so I vote with horrible dad because nobody has a good dad in these stories.
That's
Very true. So the next legend
okay. That's
around
fair.
him.
Had a good
I'm
day.
like, name one.
Snow White.
Well, in my brain, I was like, Snow White's dad wasn't bad. He was just absent. And I was like, but he let his wife try to murder his daughter. That seems bad.
And an absent father can be just as bad as a bad father.
That's true.
Yep.
Maybe the wife killed him.
That's valid. That is a valid point. We don't know.
I'm guessing that's what I'm going.
It's
Made it look like an
kind of like
accident.
the Iron Man thing where it's like, my dad went to the gas station for cigarettes. I guess he never found them because that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That's sad. Anyway, so the other legend around Saint Nick, I gave the nice one first, because the next one is a little gruesome. Welcome back to cannibalism.
Excellent.
Take a shot, guys.
Wow.
Of my sparkling grape juice.
Man,
There
I
you
have to
go.
drink all my punch.
So the gruesome legend involves how he became the patron saint of
I got a
children.
different can. So, give me first.
The story involves 3 little boys instead of 3 little girls, which there's a pattern here. Not sure why. So these little boys were starving and living on the street. Because they were hungry, they decided to go to a butcher and beg for some food and a place to stay for the night. Some people say innkeeper. I went with butcher because it didn't make sense for innkeeper.
Plus, butcher's just more aggressive.
That's very true. No
Accent.
offense to any butchers out there. But I would like to point out that like raw meat doesn't seem like the best option. Like I would have gone to a baker. I said I would choose a baker. That was what I was trying to say before my internet cut out and stopped recording.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, right? You're hungry, you go somewhere with warm food, not raw meat. But anyway, so the butcher took pity on the children and invited them inside, offering them a meal and a place to sleep. But once the boys had entered, for no real reason that I can think of, the butcher immediately grabs a knife and slaughters all 3 children.
He's a serial killer.
Krampus.
I guess.
He's not a serial killer.
But then he has this absolutely brilliant idea.
Killer.
What?
Why do people think a butcher's a serial killer?
She said that serial killers eat cereal.
I'm a serial killer. 'Cause I eat cereal.
There's a t-shirt that says that. I agree. So
Different kind of cereal, honey. Different kind of cereal.
so the
Butcher took cereal.
So the butcher has an absolutely brilliant idea, and maybe this was already in his head before he killed them, but he decides to chop the boys up into tiny little pieces and pickle them.
Oh, I thought you were going to say put them in a pie.
No, even better. And then sell them as ham.
I like pickles.
Wait.
I've never had pickled ham though.
Is the
Pickled
butcher
ham's a thing.
Is the butcher St. Nicholas?
No.
Oh.
No,
Just a
St.
random
Nicholas
butcher.
stays the good guy throughout all these, but the reason why I chose to talk about St. Nick is because of this story, because it's like a very gross, awful story involving Santa Claus.
I hate.
And also involves cannibalism, which is our norm.
And a butcher pickling children and thinking for some reason it will resemble ham. Now, I've never seen pickled human remains, but I'm assuming it's not quite the same. Are humans red meat? Are we red meat? Would we be pink?
Yes.
Or would we be white? I don't know.
No, we are definitely red meat.
Are we, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it works.
We are 100% red meat.
I have a question.
Yes, Celine?
Is the butcher a boy or a girl?
I'm assuming a boy.
Okay.
It could be a girl, I suppose.
Did they have girl butchers in the 200, 300 BC?
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
there's a
I
lot of
assumed it was a boy.
a lot of cultures where the women were the ones who did the, like, obviously, like, the meal prepping. So, like, the men would hunt it, bring the carcass back, and they would be the ones to take care of it. So.
But I could see the butchering being the male thing. Like, when it comes to having a shop, like a butcher shop. That would be the male thing.
Yeah, they're typically depicted as men.
But anyway, so I had this thought that I jotted down actually, and I forgot about it. I said maybe this is where we get the tradition of a Christmas ham.
It's really funny.
Never again will I eat ham on Christmas.
Good thing my parents are making prime rib this time.
That's odd.
Yeah.
We have ham.
We normally do have ham, but
we'll get a Christmas goose.
We never end up eating it. Also, a lot of it goes to waste. And
No,
my mom's like,
I
I'm
want
gonna make something that everyone is gonna eat.
The goose.
Nice. My mom would take the leftover ham and make this absolutely horrid dish called ham and beans and ruin it. Just ruin it.
I thought you were gonna
Everyone
say
in my
ham-
family but me would eat it.
I thought you were gonna say ham gravy, and I was about to disown you as my friend because ham gravy is hands down the best gravy ever invented.
I'm not sure I had it. No, this is literally just ham and lima beans and something cooked together. Side note, lima beans are poisonous. Anyway.
Oh my gosh, my mom makes something like that too. Except that she doesn't call it ham and beans; she calls it something else. Something
We're very
hash.
simple folk.
What the
Mash.
fuck? Y'all families
Mash
feeding
is a potato-based thing, though.
To be fair, my mom never made me eat it. My mom makes
Mom
it
made it
because she
hot.
likes to eat it.
No, my parents loved it. Granted, my parents are very old, and this is a very, like, cheap, old-school dish. Like, my dad grew up late-era Depression, so...
No. You know what's an old school dish? Creamed corn.
We ate that too. But what I'm saying is, like, because they grew up in that time period, they learned to use, like, absolutely everything. So you had a little bit of meat left over, you'd chop it up and throw it with some cheap thing like beans, and that's what you would eat.
Yeah,
we
we
also
did
ate,
a lot
like,
of that.
tuna noodle, which is my absolute favorite thing in the world, which is just egg noodles and a can of tuna
Like,
and some mushroom soup.
we
Like, I don't even like
eat
mushrooms.
beans, but
That's good. It's like literally a $2 dish, and you can feed a family of 4. Well, at least it was back then.
we used to eat stuff like that all the time too.
No, beans and cornbread, but it's not lima beans. Come on now. That's the only thing you use ham for. That's a ham hock.
So, fun note, 7 years later, St. Nicholas comes by the butcher's and somehow knows exactly what happened. I'm assuming God told him.
He can see even for the houses when you're naked. He looks away. He watches you.
But because 7 years passed, it really makes me think that the butcher actually did pass human remains off as ham. But either way, St. Nicholas comes by, asks him to show him the barrel where he had these children pickled, and he places his hand on the barrel, prays to God, and the chopped up pickled remains of these boys come together and they return to life.
So in the 7 years, he did not sell the pickled children.
That's my question. It's been 7 years. First of all, that food would probably go bad.
Pickled things are typically canned and can thus last way longer than 7 years.
300 BC. There were no cans.
I mean, they still pickled things. They put them in jars and stuff.
They did, but this was a barrel, specifically a barrel.
Oh.
Also,
it's like a fine aged wine.
What?
It said it's like a fine aged wine.
No,
except
no, it's
fine
been 7 years. There's no way he didn't sell some of this, which means pieces of these children were missing because other people bought and ate them.
I mean, not necessarily. Maybe he just cut them up and pickled them and then left them in his basement because it made him feel good.
Just because little Timmy's now walking around without an ear on doesn't mean that he was previously pickled. I'm just saying.
All I'm saying is it is highly likely that people ate these children, and the Christmas miracle was they came back from whole, from what was left.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but the thing is that in the actual story, I mean, like, it's an oral telling, obviously, so there's not like an actual story, but in the story, they say that they don't say that the remains are still in the barrel. He goes to the barrel. So my thought is, like, maybe he sold through all of them, and then Christmas miracle, they all just pop out of the barrel. I don't know.
It's just their body juices floating around in there?
Gross.
I have a question.
Gross.
What's your question?
When I raise my hand, that means I have a question.
Was that your question?
Yeah.
That's not a question.
That was a statement.
But supposedly this is the story where we get the pickle ornament tradition, where you hide the pickle in the tree.
I don't like it.
I've never heard of that before in my life.
Oh,
German.
It's an American tradition. From what I read, it's an American tradition where you get this little glass pickle ornament. You hide it in the tree, and whoever finds the pickle ornament first gets an extra present on Christmas Eve. I had never heard of it till I was an adult either, so I don't know. But supposedly the reason why it's a pickle is because St. Nicholas raised pickled children from the dead.
It's not even a story.
Who hides the pickle?
Parents, I assume.
And when
Whoever's-
do they hide it? Like, do you get to, like, how
When
you're
long do
putting
you
up the
have
tree?
to find the pickle?
It might be when you're putting up. I don't know. I didn't look into this tradition all that much, but
My family always decorated the Christmas tree together, like, as a family.
Yeah.
So I have heard some people wait, and then like somebody goes and then like until Christmas Eve, and then they hide it, and then it's like a mad dash to tear the tree apart to find the pickle. I'd be mad because I have very breakable ornaments.
Right.
I
I know. I'd be pissed. In fact, Adam and I were talking about whether or not we could even hang a Christmas tree this year or put up a Christmas tree this year because Echo is such a destructive monster.
Put it in the bedroom.
Echo, who's Echo?
Echo's my dog.
Oh,
When we were training our new cat, we put ours in our bedroom because I have to have a Christmas tree.
We don't have any space in any of our bedrooms.
Get a tiny tree.
Put a cage around it.
We could do that. That's actually a really good idea. Maybe we'll just
Which one? Both?
the putting the cage around it. For whatever reason, he's like, oh, there's a fence there. I clearly cannot go.
No.
He's very responsive to fences.
A
That's what a
Christmas
lot of
fence.
people do for cats.
I'll wrap a little garland around it.
Yeah. Cats like to.
Oh no, a fence won't stop a cat. Or at least not my cat.
Oh, I know. Our cats would climb the tree.
Yeah, my cats like to eat the tree.
Our cats drink the water.
Oh, we don't have a real one.
Which is very dangerous because it's poisonous.
Right.
We're thinking about bolting ours to the wall this year, but they're usually really good at not knocking it over.
And this is why you get yourself a Hanukkah bush.
No, I have to have my Christmas tree.
My friend Rebecca ties her Christmas tree to the ceiling. So then even if they like rock it or whatever, it won't fall over because it's tied to the ceiling.
Yeah,
we did stuff is gonna fall off.
She also has a small child.
Bend the branch like this around the ornaments so they don't fall off. So, like you can kind of knock our tree over and it'll be fine. I'm thinking about both today. This year it seems a little wobbly, but they're usually really good because we do good with training them. But you know, cats don't always listen.
We always do a real tree. So well,
I want to someday, but then I feel guilty because that tree was murdered, and now you decorate a tree corpse.
I have a Hanukkah bush, so I have like a white Christmas tree that's about this big. That's my Hanukkah bush. Cool. I'm not Jewish. I just
we got distracted by pickles and Christmas trees, and now we're on Christmas trees and Hanukkah bushes.
Hanukkah.
So back to this because there's not much left. So that's the story of Saint Nicholas. I thought it was fitting with the pickled children, potential cannibalism, and maybe rotting zombie corpses, because all I'm imagining are just chunks of children glued together and walking around.
No, that would not be a miracle.
It's a miracle they're alive, right?
Yeah, but he would totally be crucified for necromancy if he did that.
You know, I'm just saying. This was like before Christ, so maybe God was testing his abilities. I don't know.
No, he for sure would have been crucified for necromancy.
Probably true. Either way, though, Santa Claus is literally all over the world because supposedly they found his body and many churches took relics. And many churches claim to have relics. So if they're all correct, then Santa Claus is really all over the world.
He got around.
Yeah, after death. Also, if you don't know, Catholics celebrate St. Nicholas Day on December 6th, which will be 2 days. No, not 2 days. It'll be the Sunday after this goes live. I don't know what I'm thinking. But that day happens after a particularly creepy counter holiday that Vi will be covering. So I'm excited for that one. I know nothing about it, so no spoilers. But then I also thought it would be fun to give like a brief rundown or some examples of other creepy Santa Claus-like characters from other countries. So I mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again because I'm a huge fan of The Office, and I'm currently binging it. So,
What is your question?
Belschnickel. Belschnickel is an
Belschnickel.
impish type of Santa Claus figure hailing from Germany. He is often depicted in rags and furs and a generally creepy sort of figure. I saw one drawing of him with green skin. It was gross. Leading up to Christmas, he goes door to door to households with children and threatens to beat them with a switch if they misbehave. Yay, Santa! Or Belschnickel. There's also
Belschnickel.
it's good. It's a good word. There's also
nightmares.
Well, then leave.
No. Okay.
cover your ears. There's also Zwart Piet or Black Peter from the Netherlands. He is a
Oh, sorry. I was saying, yeah, like, I know who he is.
Yeah, Black Peter. He's a rather nice character who helps Santa give treats to children. However, he is an awful stereotype of people of color. He's often depicted by a white male wearing blackface, exaggerated red lips, and thick curly black hair. Though the Dutch have tried to say that he is black because he's a chimney sweep, everyone knows that it's actually just super racist.
So, fun fact,
Like
he is
Mr.
black
Popo.
because the original person that he is based on was a Moor, and he traveled around with St. Nick.
And was considered to be an African slave.
Yes. But he was a Moor, which is why he is black.
True. Still.
I'm saying, like, them saying,
He's portrayed by white people in
Right.
blackface.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I'm just saying that is why he is black. I don't care what the fuck they say. He was black because he was a Moor.
Well, that is the official country stance on it, is that he's a chimney sweep, and that's why it's okay for white people to put on blackface.
Look,
That's the official stance.
just get a black dude to do it.
Apparently, it's not the same.
It's
I don't know.
Holland. There's got to be a black family living there.
And then another creepy tale is in Iceland, and it's the tale of the Yule lads, which are sons of a troll. They show up on the 13 days prior to Christmas Day and each stay 2 weeks, one showing up after the other. They not only play pranks, which include eating up all of the town's yogurt for some reason. They also spy on the children of the town, kidnapping the ones who do not receive new clothes during the holiday season. They then eat them. So there's your cannibalism if the pickled children wasn't enough.
Confirmed cannibalism.
Yeah,
I was gonna say confirmed cannibalism because the pickled children is not necessarily confirmed, just implied.
And I also wanted to say that all of us adults and or kids who grumbled at your parents giving you clothes for Christmas, we should all be grateful because they were just trying to save our lives. So that's the reason for the socks or pajamas on Christmas Day.
I wonder how does the rhyme go? Something you want, something you need, something you wear, and something to read. I wonder if that's like so it's a rhyme that's like supposed to be like the things that you get for Christmas. Something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read. And
that
so
would
those
make
are supposed
sense.
Yeah, I wonder if that's
be,
where that rhyme like came
yeah.
from. I wonder if that rhyme is like related.
Because I've never heard of that.
On Christmas Eve, they give each other books. I think it's Norway. It's one of the Scandinavian countries. They give out books. They're like the number one country that buys books, but they give out books to everyone on Christmas Eve, and that's what they do is they stay in and read the book that they were given on Christmas Eve.
That's cool.
It is.
But so there were a few other tales of Icelandic things eating children because apparently nothing keeps kids in line like the threat of being eaten.
Trolls.
That it was so bad that in the 1760s, I believe, they passed a law saying that they're not allowed to tell these stories anymore because they were just there to scare children. Yay, Iceland.
That seems a little out of place for the 1760s. Seems like in the 1760s they were all about wrecking children.
They were progressive for their time.
Yeah, I was just kidding around. God, that's really
I don't know.
progressive.
So, and I found lists of just creepy Santa Claus like things from around the world, most of them European, that often involved beating, mutilating, or eating children that misbehaved. And I didn't want to go through the whole, like, add too many because they all started to sound repetitive. Randomly enough, a ton came from Germany. Leave it to Germany.
I was going to say, that seems not random, actually. Makes
So,
sense to me.
Sorry, Germans. We love you. We promise. I learned how to say ich bin fine. Nope, I lost it. My name's Tanya, and I already forgot.
I thought you were going to say
Ich bin Tanya.
Ich bin ein Berliner, which is what's his face tried to say, which means I'm a jelly donut. It's whatever.
I think I'm going to spend my sabbatical learning German. That's my new thing. I don't know why.
Or,
I have nothing to do for 30 days. So.
What's the one my brother always tells me? Die Chupacabra hat mein Siege gegessen.
That doesn't even mean anything.
The Chupacabra ate my goats. Or you can replace it with babies. So, because this is our show, it could be Die Chupacabra hat mein Baby gegessen.
Nice. I don't know how to say it, and I wish I did now, but Tom always likes to shout, there's a cat in my pants in German. So I'm just going to say.
I know how to say there's a cat in my pants in Spanish.
He knew it in like 7 languages. Spanish was one, and Russian was another. I don't remember the others.
I could probably do it in French.
Anyway, but yeah, I didn't go into the details of many others because, like I said, they started to get repetitive. So those are just some of my favorites, and that's all that I
have. Thank you, Titania, for letting us know about the real Santa Claus. Next week, I'm going to be covering evil Santa Claus. So if you're ready for that effed up story, join us next week. And you can find us for updates on our Facebook page at F***CKED Up Fables. And then if you want to see our faces, our YouTube is the same, F***CKED Up Fables. And then you can check out our Instagram for updates as well, which is EFFED Up Fables, F'd Up Fables. And that's, I think, all we got for you this week.
Bye!